He kicked me out with our baby for his secretary, now I'm with his business partner, and he wants me back. My husband didn't even look me in the eyes when he told me to leave. He stood there in the doorway, jaw tight, shirt open just enough to reveal a smear of lipstick I pretended not to see. Our baby was only 6 weeks old, still waking up every 2 hours, still smelling like warm milk and innocence. I held our son against my chest, barefoot in the cold hallway, while the man who once swore to protect us said these words like they meant nothing. You need to go. This isn't working anymore. No shouting. No tears on his face. Just cold exhaustion. Maybe even relief. I remember staring at his hand, the same hand that held mine at our wedding, now gripping the door as if he couldn't wait for it to close between us. Behind him, I saw her. The secretary. Young, polished, smiling like she'd already won. A silk robe of his ex-wife's draped over her shoulders as if she owned everything I built with him. I didn't fight. I didn't even have the strength. I walked down the stairs shaking, clutching our baby with one arm and dragging a diaper bag with the other. I kept thinking he'd call me back, say this was a mistake, that stress got to him. But all I heard was the door closing. A soft click, like the final note of a song I never wanted to end. I stood on the sidewalk with nowhere to go. My family lived far away, and truthfully, I was ashamed. How do you explain that your husband replaced you with someone from the office while you were still bleeding from childbirth? My phone felt heavy in my pocket. For a moment, I scrolled through contacts without focus, my mother, old friends, cousins, and then my thumb paused on one name. Ethan. My husband's former business partner. The man who had walked away from the company a year earlier after a falling out I never fully understood. There was always tension between them, something whispered behind closed doors. Sometimes I'd catch Ethan looking at me during corporate dinners, not in a way that crossed boundaries, but like he noticed things my husband didn't. Like he saw me. Without thinking, I called him. My voice cracked before I said anything. He answered softly, "Where are you?" I didn't ask how he knew something was wrong. He arrived in less than 30 minutes, coat half-zipped, hair still damp like he'd rushed out mid-shower. He looked at me, really looked, and the anger in his eyes wasn't pity. It was protective. He helped me into his car, fastening the baby seat with hands that didn't shake. When he closed the door, he did it gently, as if I might break. He took me to his apartment, warm, safe, full of soft light and the smell of freshly brewed coffee. I sat on his couch, numb, while he paced with the baby in his arms like he'd done it forever. My son fell asleep on Ethan's chest faster than he ever did on mine, and I cried silently at the sight. The first days were survival. I slept, fed the baby, cried, repeated. Ethan never asked questions, never pried. He brought food, washed bottles, held the baby so I could shower. He didn't touch me with desire, only with care. A quiet presence. A steady heartbeat in a world that had collapsed. Meanwhile, my husband posted photos online, dinners with her, vacations, champagne glasses clinking like a victory dance. They looked like a glossy magazine spread, all white smiles and designer clothes. Their happiness was loud. Forced, almost. I avoided the images until one night curiosity broke me, and I scrolled too far. I saw comments from mutual friends congratulating them, praising their love story, as if I never existed. As if I hadn't spent years building a home, supporting his dreams, carrying his child. The bitterness tasted metallic. Months passed. My body healed. My son grew, laughing now, grabbing everything with tiny hands. And slowly, something changed inside me. When Ethan smiled at my baby, something in my chest warmed. When he asked how I was, genuinely asked, I felt seen again. I caught him watching me in the kitchen once while I was rocking my son on my hip, humming softly. Our eyes met for a second too long. Something electric. Something frightening. I ignored it at first. I wasn't ready. But life has a way of guiding you where you're meant to be. Then came the downfall. My husband's business started to crumble. Deals failed, clients disappeared, debts surfaced like sharks around a sinking boat. Rumors spread fast, missed payments, lawsuits, layoffs. And the secretary? She drained his accounts, transferred assets to her name, and left him as soon as the money dried up. She even leaked documents to people he owed, just to save herself. One evening he showed up at Ethan's apartment. Rain-soaked his suit, eyes hollow, desperation carved deep into his face. He begged me to talk. He said he made a mistake. He said he missed his son, he needed us, he needed me. Ethan stood beside me silently, jaw set. My husband's gaze flicked between us, realization dawning. His voice cracked as he whispered, "You're with him now?" I didn't answer. Because that night, after my husband left defeated, Ethan offered me tea and sat beside me on the couch. Our hands brushed, and it felt like stepping out of a burning house into clean air. I leaned into him before I could second guess, and he wrapped his arms around me like a promise. Not rushed, not hungry, gentle, patient, real. We didn't kiss, not yet. But the moment his forehead rested against mine, I knew. This was home. Not walls or furniture. A heartbeat. A presence. Safety. 3 months later, we were together officially. Slowly, tenderly. He became more than support, he became love. The kind that doesn't demand, doesn't abandon. The kind that tucks blankets around you when you fall asleep feeding your baby. The kind that stays. My husband tried to return many times. Calls, messages, flowers at the door. But I was no longer the woman he could break. I watched him fall apart from a distance, the way he once watched me walk away with his child in my arms. Life returned his cruelty like an echo. Now, as I write this, my son is older. Ethan is teaching him how to ride a bike in the courtyard, steady hands on the handlebars, laughter cutting through the evening air. I'm sitting by the window, heart full, knowing pain was the beginning, not the end. They say sometimes you lose what you think you need to find what you truly deserve. And when I look at Ethan holding our boy, smiling up at me like I'm his entire world, I know I finally found mine.